Do you struggle with high expectations from your parents? Do these high expectations lead you to feel anxiety and a lack of motivation and maybe even some fear when you go to play? Well, in this video, you're going to learn how you can handle high expectations from your parents. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental performance coach and founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Now, through my work and also just through my life, I have yet to come across a parent who doesn't want their athlete to succeed. Now, I'm not going to say that every parent wants their athlete to succeed because it's pretty dangerous to make such a blanket statement. But what I am saying is that the vast majority of parents want their children to succeed. Then why is it that athletes feel pressure and expectations from their parents? Well, it mainly has to do with the fact that your parents want you to succeed. When that desire for you to succeed is misinterpreted, or the way that they go about expressing their desire for you to succeed is maybe not done in the best way, this can lead to high levels of expectation. And when you experience expectation as an athlete, this is only going to hurt you if you don't learn to manage it. High expectations and pressure, they can lead to sports performance anxiety, where you're worried about what's going to happen because you don't want to make that mistake. It can also lead to fear. You know that if you make a mistake, if you fail, then you're going to let your parents down. You're not going to live up to their expectations. That's going to drive fear of failure as you begin a game. Both of these can cause you to doubt yourself, cause you to lower your confidence. They also cause you to lose focus during a game. So while you may think that these high expectations and pressure are helping you, in reality, they are distracting you. If you are focused on the expectations of your parents during a game or during practice, that's taking you out of the moment. So during a game, for example, you're not focused on what you need to be doing in that moment to actually reach that expectation. Instead, you're worried about reaching that expectation. Or more often than not, you're worried about what's going to happen if you don't reach that expectation. So for you as an athlete, it is so important to learn how to manage these expectations. The first tool that you can use to manage these high expectations from your parents is reframing. Reframing is the practice of looking at a situation and changing how you're interpreting it. You're not lying to yourself with reframing. What you're doing is you are choosing how you want to see a situation, and you're going to choose to see it in a more positive and productive way. For example, if your parents say something to you after practice or a game, and typically you interpret that as not being good enough, or they didn't think that you played that well, or another thing that leads to more high expectations and anxiety, well, you can reframe that. And one of the first ways that you can reframe this is simply saying, I'm really happy that my parents care so much about me and my sport. I'm really grateful that my parents are driving me to practice, that they come to my games, because I know that not every athlete's parents show them that kind of support. That's one of the first ways that you can reframe, and it's simply changing it or changing your point of view to one of gratitude. Now, another way that you can reframe is by looking at what they say and asking yourself, okay, what can I learn? What's true about what they say? If you feel that they're being overly critical of you, and so you feel that you didn't live up to their expectations, well, instead of viewing it as, hey, I wasn't good enough, you can view it more objectively and ask yourself, what can I learn from what they said? What can I take from what they said and apply it to my game? So now you're using their high expectations, and rather than having that tear you down and lead to more pressure moving forward, you're using it in a constructive way by saying, okay, what can I actually learn? Because if they are being critical, they may have some ground to stand on. You may have not played up to your potential. Now, I'm not saying that they're going about saying it and telling you that in the best way, but there probably is something that you can take from what they said. And so taking something positive from what they said, that then reduces the negative impact of them being critical and those feelings of expectation that you have. Another way that you can work on managing the high expectations from your parents is working on improving your self-talk. When you have high expectations or when you're faced with these, a lot of time your self-talk is going to look like this. I have to blank. I hope they didn't see that. I hope I don't mess up. I've got to play well today. Do you see how much stress just those simple statements put on you, I have to, I've got to, all that is based in pressure and expectations. What you want to do is focus on changing the way that you're speaking to yourself during practices and during games. By changing the way that you speak to yourself, that then works to influence the way that you feel. And if you work on feeling differently, then you're going to play differently. So once again, this is kind of like reframing, where you're going to change what you're thinking about. Some examples include, I've got this. I am grateful that they care so much. I trust in my skills. I know I'm going to play well today. I can only control myself. Focus on my job and my responsibilities. Do you see how those are a lot more positive and productive? And if you honestly thought like that, that is going to put you in a much better position to play well. And then the third way you can work on managing the high expectations from your parents is to remember why you play in the first place. This is known as your why. Why are you training? Why are you competing? Why do you go to long hours of practice? Why are you bouncing back from all this adversity and these setbacks? Why do you play your sport? When you truly ground yourself in your why, this helps manage high expectations from your parents because you are giving yourself the reason to play. A lot of times when we feel high expectations from our parents, what happens is this then develops to a point where you play to please your parents. You play to where you're simply out there only to live up to their expectations. That's why you are training. That's why you're competing. Now, if that's truly your why, then that's great. But that's probably not going to do any good when it comes to managing these high expectations. You have to truly get to the core of why you're playing. Now, when you're thinking about your why, we can look at different forms of motivation. And there are two distinct forms of motivation for you as an athlete. One is intrinsic motivation, and one is extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is all about playing because you just love the game. Now, extrinsic motivation is more about playing because I want to win. I want to win that championship. For you, either one is perfect, but you have to understand what truly is your why. Are you playing because you really want to play in college? Are you training in college because you really want to win that championship? Or are you playing because you simply love what you do? Truly understanding your why is another incredible way that you can work on managing high expectations from your parents. So take these 3 tips: reframing, focusing on your self-talk, and remembering why you play, put them into action, and that's going to help manage these high expectations from your parents. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of success in all that you do. I hope you enjoyed this training. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We put out new trainings each week on sports psychology and the mental game. If you have any questions about this training or any sports psychology topic, please leave a comment below. If you want to learn more about myself or Success Starts Within, head over to successstartswithin.com.